A good evening from wherever you're tuning in, and time to turn to talk matter sports on Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nashon Owano. I have an interesting show lined up for you tonight. These are just some of the things that you're going to be talking about tonight. Today we are going to be shedding spotlight on Sasa volleyball team, an all-girls volleyball team that is located in Jacaranda. We're just going to be talking to the manager and talking to some of the players and understand what it takes, what basically takes to be part of the club. Apart from that, we are going to be talking matters Australian Open, where the draws for the third round of the Australian Open in the men's singles and the women's singles were announced this past week, and also some of the matches that were played in the course of the week. Also, away from matters tennis, you're going to be talking matters Formula One, where there are new regulations that have been given by the FIA with regards to the regulation of the engines that car manufacturers and participants of the Formula One are going to be using for the next coming seasons. Now, welcome. Let's delve into the first matter of the day. Just before we talk about the Australian Open, a breaking news that came on Thursday this week was the announcement by the Formula One body and the FIA with regards to the new guidelines relating to the engines. According to the new guidelines that were given by the FIA and the Formula One, the two bodies have announced an engine freeze starting from the season of 2021. What the new regulations basically means that car manufacturers and participants in the Formula One races have been frozen or are not allowed to make any modification in their engines up to 2025. Apart from that, some of the guidelines that came from the FIA was the introduction of sprint races as opposed to the constant pre-qualifying races that usually take place just before the Grand Prix weekend that is usually on a Sunday. Now, some of the races which are going to pilot the new sprint races are the Canadian Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix, and the Brazilian Grand Prix. This trial or pilot modes are going to be taking place in the season as it starts next month. Now, switching gears into matters tennis. Now, the third round draws for the Australian Grand Prix, Australian Open for the season 2021 were announced, and the following is how the draws were pitted. Now, in the women singles, this is how the contestants were pitted against each other. That is, Gabin Muguruza was going to be facing against Serena Diaz, and then Margeta Woodroza is going to be squaring it out against Sorana Siseta, and then Ons Jabu versus Naomi Osaka, a match which was played in the course of this week, and Naomi Osaka won that particular match on the court. Now, that basically means that in the next round of the competition, Naomi Osaka is going to be squaring it out against Gabin Muguruza. Away from that, we're going to be talking about Ariane Sabalenka, who was pitted against Ann Lee, and then the most interesting match that people were looking out for was the match between Anastasia Potapova versus Serena Williams. Serena Williams won against Anastasia Potapova yesterday, and this basically means that Serena Williams is going to be squaring it out against Aryna Sabalenka in the next round of the competition. Now, switching gears into the men singles, the following is how the draw stacks up. That is, Novak Djokovic is going to be squaring it out against Tyler Fritz. Then Marton Faksovic is going to be squaring it out against Milos Rainovic, and Pedro Martinez versus Dusan Lajovic, Adrian Manarino versus Alexander Zverev. The match was played this week, and then Alexander won that particular match. So we are going to be waiting to see, depending on how the fixtures are going to be to turn out tonight, who Alexander is going to be facing in the next round of the competition. Also, some of the people that were drawn in the round of competition was Dominic Thiem versus Nick Krygor Dimitrov versus Pablo Carreno Busta, Grigor Dimitrov won that particular match. It's going to be interesting to see who are the favorites already as the competition has begun. Serena Williams and we have the likes of Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic have been pitted as the favorite for the Australian Open 2021. After the break, I'm going to be joined by Ian Ketani, where we're going to be talking matters Australian Open. He's going to be giving us a few insights with relation to which are some of the players that he considered to be his favorite. Now, away from tennis, this past week I managed to spend time with members of Sasa volleyball team, which is located at the Jacaranda grounds, just to try and understand what it takes to be a volleyball player. This is their story. Sports Center, we talk to members of the Sasa volleyball team as we try to understand some of the challenges that come with being an all-girls volleyball team from Soweto.
The reason as to why I thought of starting something like this was as a result of I being the coach based on high schools and universities. I thought it, because we have been going out to source for players, then I thought we need to have our own from within Nairobi to minimize the cost and also empower, nurture, develop talents within our reach. Considering that we have very potential kids that are so idle within our reach that we can develop. So that's basically that made me to start the initiative. Last year alone, we managed to take about 4 girls to the nationals primary sports competitions that were held in Meru, representing the Nairobi region. That really motivated me to work on the recruit more in the academy.
Nacheza volleyball kwa sababu najua hizo skills zenye wanacheza itanisaidia, na pia imekuwa passion yangu kucheza volleyball. Imenisaidia kuenda mbali, kuona wenye wanacheza na pia kuwa kama wao.
At the moment I enjoy the support of the parents, allowing the girls to come for training, but still the fear is at large. Being a girl child, to be released just to come and train, the negative perception in the parent and in our community is also still there, that a girl cannot do sports. So we are fighting all those. Again, the poverty level within our area is so high that kids, in most cases, they only do 1 meal in a day. There is this risk of drugs that makes the parents not to be so free, allowing the girls to go because they fear. There's these groups, gang groups. So it makes the parents not comfortable at all. That's a major challenge that we normally face. But there's another one that has to do with the facilities. Training facilities, volleyball equipments are very expensive, starting with the net and the balls, very expensive. A single ball, the cheapest one takes around 4,700, and we need many balls so that they can also feel the ball. In sports, in ball games, ball sports, we say the much time you take with a ball, the better you improve. Yeah. Now we only have 3 balls that we are using with all the population, so it means that we have to limit the number of kids we partake in training. We also face another challenge of exposing the gas. That means we need to have funds for transport, registration for the events, meals, and so forth. So at least it limits our chances of exposing the gas. Doing competitions, you know, we cannot just be training without doing competitions. Yeah? It makes the training lack that substance. So at least we need to train, go do competition, come back, polish where we went wrong, then again go for another competition. My vision for the team is a gradual thing that we are starting today as an academy for primary. Tomorrow I want to see them in a high school. The day after in a university. Eventually they do volleyball as a profession, do international competitions, in national assignments in terms of volleyball. I'll be okay. My best achievement, my number one achievement, is seeing that child who never knew anything about volleyball, who could not handle a ball, the volleyball ball, play the volleyball. Just appealing to corporate institutions, individual people that feels that can partner with us, can come in and support these little angels to at least achieve their dream in sports. They are really welcome. I really welcome those people. I know they are there. It's only that they don't know where these people are found. We are here. We are here in Soweto, and we welcome them.
That story by Sasa volleyball team wraps up the first part of Metropole Sports Center. We take a short commercial break. After the break, I'm going to be joined by Ian Ketani. We are going to be talking matters Australian Open and the Spanish La Liga. See you after the break.